Regis, lovely to see you at this time of year. Obviously, we're going into a really busy schedule. How are you dealing with the stresses of it all? How are you dealing with the relentless nature of all these games?
We don't have time to overthink because we always have a new game to prepare, then to manage recovery for the players and for the coaching staff. It's very intense.
So you don't have time to think. How do you put your plan together then?
Yeah, and at the same time, this period is useful for the resilience and the creativity we have to explore probably the depth of the squad, new ideas to manage those games. So you can see it on the negative part because it's tough and physically really intense, emotionally really demanding. But at the same time, I think you will get the best of your squad through those periods. So for me, I'm thinking about exciting challenges, tough, but I think we can grow through this kind of challenge.
I guess it's even more difficult because you're trying to deal with so many of your players being away at the African Cup of Nations. How much of a problem is that causing you?
Yes, the depth of the squad is smaller. It's obvious, but at the same time, it will give opportunities for players who didn't have game time so far, and they were still really well connected with the squad. So I think it's important for them, and it's always the case when you give opportunities to the players, they can show that they are ready to come on.
I think we saw that, didn't we, last week with Simon Adingra's goal against Leeds, terrific goal that it was. How much did that please you? Because he's probably been one of the few players that you signed in the summer that's maybe taken a little bit of time to settle. It was a great moment for him, and I guess for you guys as well, to see him step up like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't a surprise, but we expected this outcome maybe a bit early. But it is what it is. We can't sometimes anticipate the dynamic of the players for different reasons. Sometimes it's a bit difficult to find the right level of confidence, the right connection with his teammates, and now I hope it will be the case.
It's been a pretty crazy year, hasn't it? I know you said earlier that you don't have time to think. I suppose you don't have any time to look back at the last year, but if you can try and just for a moment just take it all in, it's pretty crazy what's happened to Sunderland. I guess you could never have expected to be where you are.
Yeah, it's true, and so I'm really pleased. One for the fans, for the people around and in the club, because they deserve to be in the Premier League. They deserve to live this kind of dynamic. At the same time, I think this club is big, it's massive, and the potential is really important. So I'm happy to be part of this process.
They've had so much pain, the supporters, for so many years. How proud are you that you've played such a big part in, I guess, making them smile again and enjoy going to watch the football team?
Yeah, I'm really happy because we can feel here the positive vibes of the environment. And I think when you are a manager, sometimes you can go across different tough periods and you have to enjoy the good ones as well. So this period is very positive. We are working hard together, and I hope we'll have a long period of good results.
Could you have envisaged when you signed here, a year and a half ago, that you would have had such a good season last year, up at the first time of asking, and then sat here, right in the top 7 or 8 positions in the Premier League?
Yes, it was tough to anticipate this result, but I'm working like that. I don't want to anticipate anything because we don't know before what will be our workflow, our quality on the pitch, and we don't know the opponent as well. So don't anticipate too much. Just try your best. Try to improve the club. Try to improve the way we are working together. And if we are well connected and resilient, because it's always, I think, across the tough periods that you are building strong foundations, and was the case last season. especially at the end. I think you can be positive for the future.
Is it difficult to enjoy in the moment as a manager?
I won't say that because I enjoy my daily life in the club, in the Premier League, but we don't have time to look back at the past and to enjoy 2 days off, for example. We won this game and it was impressive against Newcastle, for example. Just after Newcastle, we reset and we prepared the next game. So it's always like that.
Yeah, I guess after the Newcastle game, it could easily have been a drop-off because so much went into that emotionally, wasn't there? And then, of course, you then lose 6 players away to African Cup of Nations. You could have dropped off, but it felt like you kind of just, you went again, you've gone again.
Yeah, we had Brighton and Leeds after two tough games, and I think the team with a new setup. I think it's not about less talented players. It's more about a new setup, so less experience together. We showed good qualities, and it wasn't perfect. So it's a new journey, and so it's like it's not the pre-season, but we need time to get better.
I know you've spoken about Granit Xhaka. You've been asked about Granit Xhaka a lot. But how key has he been to your success so far this season, both on and off the pitch?
I think the first layer is his level as a footballer, and it's really important to think about that because he's so composed with the ball, so smart on the pitch to manage different phases and to keep the consistency that it helps definitely the young lads on the pitch. And after that, he's a really good leader. So when I say that, sometimes a leader is leading for himself. He's a really true leader because leading for the club, and he's really mature.
It's still pretty amazing that Sunderland managed to sign him. Not I mean, the size of the Sunderland as a club, obviously, but the fact that you're a newly promoted club to bring in a player of that quality, it's still, I think a lot of people are still amazed by that.
Yeah, it wasn't easy, to be fair, but the connection was probably natural. It fit with, I think, his journey and ours, because it's always a question of connection. And when you meet, I think it's possible.
In terms of the January transfer window, the summer was pretty crazy. 14 new players arrived. I guess you got the guts of your work done there. How busy do you expect January to be?
I think it won't be a massive transfer window for the ingoing players. I think because we don't have to rush anything. It's about 1, 2, 3 players maximum, I think. And for the outgoing players, I think it will be important because when you need game time for a footballer, it's like your life. You need to play, and I think it will be important.
So the sporting directors might get a little bit more rest this transfer window. No,
not really. They always have to do something.
Yeah. And just sort of, if you finally just look back at the year as a whole, how would you, if you can, how would you sum it up for Sunderland?
Probably, I would say positive vibes and momentum, and I think it's important for a club of that dimension to feed this momentum. It's always fragile, but if you stay connected, resilient, the future will be really positive.